right, guys, well, it's Sunday afternoon, evening. Had a guy call, needs a wheel seal done on his truck. He called Wednesday actually, but it was some weird Utah holiday this week and I couldn't get to it. I was out of town. He called somebody else, mechanic never showed up. He's been trying to call him all day to see if the truck's done. He doesn't live where he parks the truck, but he's been trying to call him, can't get a hold of him. I ran over earlier today and verified, yeah, the mechanic, he hasn't been there. The new parts are all sitting there. Customer bought new shoes and a wheel seal and everything. It's all sitting over there, he just needs to put on. So I'm usually not the guy to get out late on a Sunday and go. I've got a few customers that, you know, that's kind of who I mainly work for and do. But this guy, he's always treated me fair and everything. So let's get over there, see if we can get this wheel seal whipped out. I'll be back in time for dinner. All right, well, there's our new parts. And this thing's pretty nasty. So I got the wheels off there, get this brake backed off there, pop this drum off. Hopefully we can get that Allen plug out. That would make life easy. But yeah, we'll get this popped off there, check it out, cross our fingers that the brake shoes and the wheel seal are the right part. So we'll get this popped off here. I'll let you know when I'm there. All right, we got the hub off of there. It's a shame. It always happens. You put brakes on a truck and then you lose a wheel seal and ruin a brand new set of shoes. So those still have a ton of life left in them. Luckily the drum's pretty new, so we'll just brake clean that whole thing out. The reason I think this was leaking, this has a preset hub, making a mess all over my bumper here, but I've got all my outer bearings and nuts and everything in here, keeping them clean so we don't have to clean them and brake clean them all off. But this has a preset hub, and with these, the procedure is you tighten that inner nut down till it's tight. This sets your preload, and then you tighten all your outer, you know, the little lock ring and the washer with the hole that engages the tang right there, and then you tighten the outer one down. That's it. That sets your preload. The inner nut, oh, excuse me, the inner nut wasn't tight. Like, they should be tight enough that, you know, it takes some effort to break them loose, but that wasn't tight. So I think this thing had walked and it was wallering this thing all over, you know, and his hand, well, whatever. So we'll get this all cleaned up. I'll clean this hub out, wire wheel all the silicone off that face. We'll get this seal changed out. We'll knock that wear ring off, get them shoes out of the way, and I think we'll be ready to go back together. So let me get a few things cleaned up here, get these shoes off of here because they're no good. We've tried before to clean those out in parts washers, in the hot tank, steaming them. You can't get the oil out of those, so they're junk. They'll just howl and scream and whine and smoke, and they're junk. So, and brake shoes are cheap enough. So we'll get this cleaned up. We'll check our bearing races, make sure they're still good, but get that seal popped out of there, and we'll be on the back together here. So stay tuned. All right, well, not only do we have idiots putting these together that don't know how to tighten the inner nut, we got people that don't know how to remove that inner wear ring without tearing stuff up. So anyway, I've got everything cleaned up here and there. It's never a bad idea to take your seal out and just touch it off in here, make sure it's got a tight enough fit and is the right size, and then take it there and check it on the spindle just to make sure you are at least somewhere in the ballpark on the right seal. And then before you put it in there, get your inner bearing, put your inner bearing in, don't forget that. So let me get that inner bearing in. We'll get this all kind of put back together here, and we'll be rocking and rolling. Hopefully that doesn't leak. At least it's on top. They were too lazy to get down on the ground and mess the bottom up, but it hasn't come clear down to this edge here. So I think we're all right. I'll daub a little silicone on it just to be insurance. Put a little insurance policy on it, put a little silicone in them grooves. So let me get this going. Catch you back here in a minute. All right, well, we got the tires, everything back on this thing. We got the brake adjusted, got that hub full of oil. So that's about that on that one. So this one will live to break down another day. All right, well, we're back in the garage here. I picked up this compressor here, picked it up for a song because This thing's locked up. Somebody dropped something over here, busted the carburetor, busted the muffler off this thing, and it filled up with water, locked that motor up. So it was dirt cheap. The pump turns over, and it sounds like it works good. So I went and picked up a Predator 420. We'll get that unwrapped, and it should have done some measuring. It should go right on the plate this sits on, be pretty much a direct replacement. So get that thing unwrapped and start tinkering with this, see if we can get this working good, put it up for sale. All right, well, we got this sitting on here. This one, I've got another Champion in the green truck, but it didn't have this sweet plate on here. And this one is flip-flopped. It's the same pump as the other one I got. The tank's a little smaller. It says, I think it's 30 gallons, but this tank looks smaller than the other one I got, and the pump and the motor are on different sides. But it's the same pump, so I don't know. But yeah, this one's got this sweet little plate, and it's got some studs that stick up here. I probably didn't need to take this plate off, but I kind of scrubbed on the bottom of this. We're gonna clean this up real nice. All the stickers are still there, and I think this thing is just gonna wipe down with a little brake clean and look brand new. We got this thing bolted on, so I'm gonna get this pulley. This, like I said, this 420 motor from Harbor Freight, I think is a direct price replacement for this Kohler Command Pro 14, because like the shaft, everything is dimensionally the same. The cylinder head looks a little different. It's got this big wonky valve cover here, and they're doing some sort of a different breather setup, but yeah, that's that. So let me get that shaft cleaned up. We'll get that pulley on there, get it lined up where we need it, tension that thing, and then we've got a little bit to do. We've got to get this air unloader valve. It's just a Harbor Freight deal, but it'll go right down in here. We got to do a little bit of fabricating or something, get all that done, and then this air hose will come here. We'll probably have to make that a little longer, get a different hose. But yeah, that'll go up here and run our throttle. And that'll be that. So here we go. All right, we got the belt tension, the motor's tightened down. I'm pretty sure this belt guard will fit. We got this little air throttle piece situated in there and finagled. So there's a spring that pulls it this way and pulls it full throttle when the air is gone from this cylinder. And then this unloader valve, when this thing builds up to the pressure. So this, the unloader valve here sees it gets a reference from the air tank here. And then when this thing shuttles and gets to the right pressure that you've got it set to, it puts air on this T right here. It sends air up to the top here. There's valves in the head here that get held open, so the pistons in there can't build any air pressure. And then this will go to here, to the bottom of this valve, and put air pressure to this cylinder and shuttle the throttle back to an idle. And then these particular pumps, they have the valves in the head. So this airline holds the valves open, so these things can't build any pressure. The IRs and the other style ones, there's a big unloader valve here. This is a check valve, so all your air can't come back out of the tank through these open shuttle valves. But on the Ingersoll Rands, this is part of a big check valve assembly unit, like this thing here. So on an IR, you'd have something like that sitting in the tank here, and your air would come in here, and then your unloader's built here, and then here is your signal to go to your throttle. And then on these, what they do is, because the Ingersoll Rands don't have the valves in the head, they will pump air continuously. So when these things shuttle, what happens is it shuttles here. So this shuttles, and then instead of the air going through the check valve and into the tank that this is screwed into, it will vent air coming off the compressor here just to atmosphere. So you'll hear the this one, when it unloads, the only thing you hear is the engine running. You don't hear any air moving. This thing, you'll get a little, and then it'll go to an idle until it's ready to start building again. So that's that. The little fitting that this comes with didn't come with the nut and the ferrule. and I ended up ruining the little fitting in here anyways. I had to tap it to an 1/8 inch pipe. So I'm gonna get a fitting ordered for that tonight. And then this should be long enough. If not, I should have some 1/4 inch airline. That should be long enough to reach here. I'll get us the fitting we need to go in here to go to the 1/4 inch airline. And then looks like I need a 1/2 inch cap. And then I think on the bottom there's a 1/4 inch fitting for a drain that we need too. So I'll get a couple of plugs. I ordered a gauge. I don't think it showed up yet, but we need to change that gauge out. Hopefully this is set right and that unloader doesn't leak. But that should be it for now. So we'll catch you guys back in a minute and we'll get this thing running. All right, well, we got this motor on here, tensioned up, got oil in it, we got it running. I've been fiddling with that unloader valve. It builds air sweet, probably builds the best air out of any of the ones I've got. Don't know if the pump is just killer or if, I think the tank's a little smaller, but the unloader valve that was on it, when it would kick off to go to an idle, it would just sit and purge air out of where this little shafty shaft comes through for the toggle. So I borrowed the unloader off the one in the green truck and it fixed that. So I ordered one of those. But yeah, this thing runs good. It hardly moves. Doesn't shake all over the place. This is a sweet compressor, and these Harbor Freight motors are killer. So we'll get that. As soon as I get that unloader, I'll get that one on, and I'm gonna wipe this thing down with some brake clean, kind of clean it up a little. But I think my buddy's interested in this one. He just picked up a little service truck, so I think he's gonna be interested in this one. And then I'm probably gonna post my IR that I have in that truck for sale. And then I don't know, he can take his pick. These two are the same. I don't know if I'll sell him this one or the one in the green truck, but he wants a Champion, so I think I'm gonna sell the IR out of the Chevy, put the other green one in the Chevy because they run smoother, they're quieter. I don't know, I think they're just a better compressor. So I'm gonna get that unloader on there. You won't see that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this quick little mashup of what we've done this week. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. We'll see you in the next one.